Hey guys, I'm so excited that you're interested in listening to my podcast, which, after a long consideration, I decided to call Your Religion. The reason for the name is the goal of my podcast, which is to learn about world religions from the hearts and mouths of their followers. And to give you a little bit of a background about myself and my story and why I decided to start this podcast, my name is Seema Love, and I've always loved studying different religions because I was always left feeling really spiritually edified afterwards. A couple of months ago, I was laying in my bed, not being able to sleep, which happens to me fairly often, and I decided to find a podcast about world religions because I just felt like listening to it before going to bed, and I specifically was interested in learning about some smaller religions because I feel like I've studied the big ones a lot already, and I found a couple of podcasts that were talking about a lot of different smaller religions, and I decided to choose from them by listening to an episode about my religion and seeing just how they talk about it, and then I would choose my favorite one. And you know what, guys? I ended up not listening to any of them because these podcasts mostly did a good job talking about religions in an unbiased way and really talking about what they believe in, but then there was always this a little bit of dirt at the end or a little bit of bias and inaccurate information, and I just did not want to learn about other religions this way. I did not want truth mixed in with prejudice. So I was really surprised that I was not able to find a podcast that would qualify with my requirements. So I shared about this experience on my Instagram, and I was like, well, I can't believe there is not a podcast out there that is like that. And I expressed a desire to have a podcast where instead of a host talking about all these religions, people from these religions would come to the host and tell them from the inside perspective. And after I shared this experience on Instagram, some of my friends helped me understand that if I only wanted to hear about the religion from the inside out and not necessarily from the outside perspective, that it wouldn't be an unbiased view. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're right. I actually want to hear about religions with a positive bias, not an unbiased opinion. I want to hear members of these faiths speaking about their religions excitedly and how it's bringing them closer to God and peace. So this is going to be a positively biased podcast about religions. And I understand that some of you might prefer a more critical approach to studying religions, and that's fine. I understand that this podcast will for sure not be for everyone. But personally for me, after meeting some people from different religions and hearing them contagiously talk about their faith and their love for God, I was just feeling this fire light up inside of me, and now that's the only way I want to approach spirituality. I just want to hear about religions without judgment, because I feel like judgment has no place in spirituality. And that's totally my own opinion and why I'm doing this podcast primarily for myself. I just personally think that making definite conclusions and judgments should take place in more precise sciences. When we're speaking about definite knowledge, there is space for judgment there. But when it comes to faith and belief, I don't think there can be any judgment, honestly. God can judge, but not us. And it just makes me sad to hear people of faiths dissing on other religions. We're all in this together. We're all trying to reach God and become better and touch the eternity. So if you feel the same way, welcome to the Your Religion podcast. You can find my socials in the description to the episode and the podcast. And if you know someone who would be interested in coming and talking about their faith here, please get me in touch because I want to learn about everything from everyone. So yeah, this is my short introduction. I'm super excited to start doing these interviews and learning about faiths. And if you want to tag along with me, well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you.